Hey everyone, it's Alexis, and I have very interesting news. So I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to y'all. I completely failed my October TBR, only read 2 books. So the 2 books I read in October are Fahrenheit 451 and Fault in Our Stars. So Fault in Our Stars is something I read as a part of a reading popular books I've never read before, a video that will premiere maybe at the end of this month, maybe next, I don't know. But I read it, girl. I would say like the first majority of the book, it was okay. Like, it wasn't like a ooh, but it was like a good 3.5 star read. But baby, when I got to those last 50 pages, I was crying, screaming, and throwing up. Right. I was fighting for my life. I mean, I don't know if it's spoiler alerts, but somebody passed away, and it low-key isn't who I wanted to pass away. I hope that's not bad to say, but it was so random because it's one page is they're joking, and then the next chapter starts with so and so died 8 days later. Huh? Girl, when I say that book, it gave me life. I was crying, screaming, throwing up, everything. I would say that book, just for the ending, I would say 4-star read. And then the next book I read was Fahrenheit 451. Now, as you guys know, this is one of my favorite books from high school. Literally, I read it again and I was like, oh, it wasn't bad, but it's you can tell this is something that you read in a literary setting and not just leisure. It wasn't a bad book, but I think that if I hadn't read it in high school, I don't think I would have had that context to really help me put it together. Some parts, I feel like it wasn't a hard read, but if you're someone who you like stuff that's very straightforward, I don't think Fahrenheit 451 would be a good book for you. Having that background context really helped me to skim through it. For me, it still had the same impact, still had the same juice. I really loved it. I would say I don't love it as much as I thought I would. I would have called this a 4.7 stars. Now it's a 4.5, but it's still pretty high up there. So I enjoyed those 2 books. And then I did start one of these books up here. Oh my god, I started Five Nights at Freddy's, The Silver Eyes. I'm still reading it, by the way, but this book so far is pretty good. This book, as well as Hunger Games and Sorcerer's Stone, these are all going to be a part of a reading popular books I've never read video, along with Fault in Our Stars. I don't expect any of these to be amazing, since they're just the introductory books to their series, but I'm still looking forward to just getting into it. I'm at that part in Silver Eyes where it's okay, we've met the characters, blah blah, and now we're actually starting to see scenes from the game come out, starting to kind of get that lore. The thing about it, before I start reading Silver Eyes, is that I, with my stupid self, went on Game Theory and I said, ooh, let me catch up with the FNAF lore. So I unintentionally spoiled the whole trilogy for myself. So I think maybe that's why I've been reading it slow, because it's I know I know the twist, but I'm still trying to but now that I'm reading, I'm seeing little details. I'm oh, it was there all along. But I'm still enjoying it, still getting into it. Hunger Games, Harry Potter, I cannot wait to get into it, but I think I have a hard time reading my physical TBR, because it's once you've read it, that's just kind of it. So I try to get through them slowly. So I don't know, if it's just a library book, I can just read through it, but these, it's so hard to just run through it. But I will get through these and give you guys my thoughts in a few weeks. For my November TBR, I just want something that's a little bit more light. So I have shorter books, I have thicker books, I have just a variety of different books to read, so that I'm not just reading a lot of thick books like I had for October. I felt overwhelmed and everything, and then I was trying to double my goal, but literally I'm sitting at 35 books. I'm just gonna hit my 50 goal, and if I can maybe get to 75, being ambitious, next month, we can do it. But I'm over the 100 goal. And so for the rest of my November TBR, I have these 2 books, which are very interesting books. They're going to be separate videos. So for this first one, Strength to Love by Martin Luther King, this is a spiritual religious activism type of book. I got it because I thought it was more sociology, but I guess this is more of his ministry teachings, which I don't mind at all. I look forward to it. I think that this is a good finding strength within hard times type of book, so that's really up my alley. And then for Atomic Habits, this is something I'm going to read towards the very end of the month, but I think this is a very good goal setting book. I've had this book for years and I just never got to it, and I think now I'm just at a point in life where it's like I want to try new things, new ways to approach my habits and hobbies, and just being more consistent. So this will be good when I'm starting to plan my vision board for 2025 and wrapping up this year. The next thing I have a few video series where I'm going to be reading books I've never read before. So a few months ago I went to the library and I just got a lot of books that they were donating, and these are 3 of them. So this first one is called In a True Light, which is a mystery book. I don't know much about this or the other books. I'm just going into them pretty blind. Between Georgia and then Loving Frank. So these 2 books seem like general fiction. I forgot what they may be about, but for these 3, these are a good example of just library books that I can get through. Out of all the books I got, these look the most interesting, so I'm very excited to read these. My camera set up. And then, as you guys know, I was reading Fahrenheit 451 as part of this reading books from middle school, high school, and so I decided to take Jane Eyre out of that because I don't have time for like a good old 600-page book. Just don't have it. But I'm still going to read Enemy Women and The Red Badge of Courage. These 2 are historical fiction books. This ain't bad. Now this one, it wasn't bad, but it's like I couldn't get past the ugly cover, Civil War, just trying to not discriminate, but just being like, it's boring. And it really wasn't that bad, but it's like I want to read it from a different perspective. I've gone through it once before. I don't have to have a whole summer project about it, so now I can actually read it and possibly enjoy it. This, girl, I'm ready for the tea in the mess again. And then I'm going to read a few more books that I've never heard of, but these are actually books that I own. So this first book, Sang Unburied Sang, is a book that I bought for class a few years ago, but then they last minute switched me to a whole different professor's class, so I didn't need it anymore, but I decided to keep it. But this author, I think, specializes in kind of like that fictional, historical fiction, like racial elements type of genre, which I really love. So this is something that I've been wanting to read for a few years and I just never got around to it. Then we have The Happiness Project. This is about, I guess, a woman rebuilding her life, trying to find happiness in her life, being very intentional about how she lives her life. So if this is what I think it is, it seems like something I really enjoy. I love seeing people be happier, healthier, all that. And then the last book is The First to Lie. This is a book I actually found in Dollar Tree, which is very interesting. I believe this is a thriller book, and it's something that, like, it looks interesting. The cover sticks out to me. I like the texture of the cover. Like, it's giving cheap, but like good cheap. But I feel very drawn to this book. I feel like all these books have been calling my name, but it's time. So in total for this month's TBR, I want to read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 books off of my physical TBR, and I will be reading some additional library books and maybe a few digital reads I never finished. So we're definitely going to hit our 50 books for the year goal, and if we can get more, I'm grateful, but I'm not trying to rush anymore. I'm done. Next year we're going to amp it up. Maybe I'll try to commit to 100 books, but girl, I'm just happy to hit 50. It's hard catching up on reading. Like, reading is something that should just be fun, that you would get into, not something that just feels like a school project. So anyways, I will get back to you guys with all of this. I do want to start being on Book Talk a little bit more. Like, this is my TBR for the week. This is my weekly read. These are checkups. So if you guys see me doing short form content, be proud of me and support me in that journey. I have definitely been more consistent on YouTube. I have definitely been very consistent with like editing and like filming and stuff like that. So wish me the best of luck. I hope you guys have an amazing November, especially if you're a reader girly just like me. Enjoy your books, enjoy everything, enjoy life, and you guys be safe, have fun, and have a great day. Bye.